Thank you for auditing the always positive, unedited new music review show hosted by a French professor. I don't know where to start. Where do I start with Pink Tape by Lil Uzi Vert? I don't know what to say. I've even tried to record this video. I've tried to find time. I usually record in the morning. It's in the afternoon. I've had to do work stuff. I had to go to the post office. I've had all these weird things to do. It seems like this is sort of a haunted episode and a sort of a haunted album. I just don't know how to approach it. If you know anything about this album, you know it's 6 hours long. It dips its toes in at least 6 different genres, and a third 6 to be vaguely satanic, like the album can be at times. I don't usually do this, but I actually watched other YouTube music reviewers to see what are they saying. And it seems as though, even though these other music reviewers clearly know Lil Uzi Vert's work better than I do, they all seem to be pretty confused as well. Skye, who I think does some of the best work on the platform, helped to give me some context, but in the end he seemed as confused as I was. I very, very rarely watch Fantano's stuff before I do my things, because he has a way of talking that sort of invades my brain. I don't want to ever sound like I'm trying to copy him. But a lot of what he was saying was very similar to what I'm going to say, which I think is probably the strength of the album. I think much like the album it is most clearly compared to A Whole Lotta Red by Playboi Carti. It's sort of a thing that's really hard to digest. It's hard to chew. It's like grape nuts. You know that cereal? It's like you chew it and you're like, I don't know why I'm eating this, but I like grape nuts so much. I might even ask one of my kids to show off that I have a thing of grape nuts in the cupboard. That's what it's like. It's hard to chew and you don't know who it's for, but it's oddly likable. Now, the other thing that I just learned yesterday while watching videos is apparently Lil Uzi Vert now goes by they, them pronouns, which I totally respect. Very cool. It's very hard for me though, because I just learned that and I don't edit my videos. So my kids are in the other room playing Zelda. My daughter, I have assigned her to be the pronoun cop. So in the event that I use the wrong pronoun, hopefully my daughter will correct me. And if not, you can just tell me in the comments and I will edit that out. I seriously respect their decision to go by the pronouns they choose. But I have had the wrong pronouns in my head up until 5 minutes ago, right? So, I'm not a real expert. I'm not a real expert on Lil Uzi Vert. If I were to have a Lil Uzi Vert song, it would be called "Why Am I Not From Atlanta?" I don't understand how he's from. Thank you. I don't understand how they are from Philadelphia. It doesn't make sense to me. They sound so Atlanta to me. It feels like they're part of the scene. But maybe that's just evidence or a testament to the power of Atlanta, that even somebody from Philadelphia sounds like they're from Atlanta. But okay, so Skye doesn't know what to say about their album. Fantano doesn't really know what to say. I think Fantano gave it like a strong 5 out of 10 or something. I don't even remember. But who are the best critics for Lil Uzi Vert? The best critics for Lil Uzi Vert are my son's friends. Because my son's friends have been telling me that I need to get down with Lil Uzi Vert. The first video I ever did was one of his friends wanted me to do futsal shake or futsal shuffle or grimace shake. I don't know what it is, but it's something with one of those TikTok-y dance things. And that was my introduction to Lil Uzi Vert. I did a review, an Eternal, a take. I thought it was fine. I didn't quite get it. But what I find most telling, and this I guess will be my thumbnail for this album, is that according to my son and his panel of suburban Lil Uzi Vert enthusiasts, okay, this album is, quote, not garbage. And that sounds like that's damning it with faint praise, but I don't think that it is. Because an album like this is a grower, much like Whole Lotta Red. And I think that that's important because the expectations for Lil Uzi Vert, for as long as I've been reviewing Lil Uzi Vert, everyone keeps telling me that they are this amazing artist, that they do all these amazing things, and I don't get a glimpse. I don't get it. I didn't get it from Futsal Shuffle. I didn't get it from Eternal A Take, but I do get it with Pink Tape. At times. And this is why it's such a confusing album. It's definitely not garbage. So when I first listened to it, I said, this is garbage. It's a mishmash of all these different styles. I don't know what it is. Is that justice? What's going on? Does that say ARCA? What's going on? This is such a chaotic mess. How do I frame it? It's definitely not garbage. It could be a masterpiece, and in the same way that Whole Lotta Red is a masterpiece. I have a hard time believing that it is, because even on the first or second listen of Whole Lotta Red, it put me into a state that helped me to better understand like kids these days in a way that this album doesn't quite do. But still, it's not garbage. Huh? How's that for criticism? And it really has moments of brilliance, which I'm hopefully going to find. And there may be many more moments of brilliance that I missed. Another little fact that was passed on to me from my son is that the only person that Lil Uzi Vert follows on Instagram is Ken Jeong. That's very cool. That is very cool of them. That is maybe one of the coolest things I've ever heard. If you could only follow one person, that is the perfect random celebrity to follow. Also, King John, one of my personal heroes. You know, he was a real doctor and then became a star. Okay, so let's get into the album. Let's get into it. Another thing my son always says is that my videos are too long. No one's going to watch them because they're too long. I keep telling him, that's the appeal. So the example song is track 2 off the album. There's like a weirdness where this is basically 3 EPs jammed into one album. There's the rage rap album. There's the pop, what I call pop rage. I don't know if pop rage is a term. If I'm robbing it from someone else, please tell me. As far as I can tell, I came up with that term, or at least I came up with it without copying someone else. There's rage rap, pop or rage trap, pop, rage, and then just heavy metal. Just heavy metal, not heavy metal rap, hybrid, this, that, just straight up heavy metal. So the opening bits, that is the first part of the rage rap album, are by far the best part. The parts that are most Whole Lotta Red, which annoyed me because I'm like, oh, Uzi, they just served up the title on a platter. Whole Lotta Pink. Easy. So easy for a dumb music critic like myself. But, of course, that's not accurate. The best way to describe this album is not garbage. The song Suicide Doors really helps me to understand what it is that's special about Lil Uzi Vert. The time when my son's friend accosted me in the, I think it was like back in middle school. It's like back in middle school. It's like 4 years ago. It's a long time ago. Walked up to me. You really gotta listen to this Lil Uzi Vert. You know, I really get it with this song. Now, first off, it starts off with someone insulting them, saying that they're sissified and implying that they're not heterosexual. This sort of direct attack. Not only do we have the non-binary thing, but there's a whole theme in the album of Lil Uzi Vert insisting that they are not gay, which normally would be a sign of homophobia, but here I don't think it is. I think it's an interesting move on their part to really say that being non-binary is not the same thing as being gay. I think the point they're making is actually way more radical than if they were gay. I mean, of course, if they're gay, they're gay. It doesn't matter. But the sort of insistence on being a non-binary gangster, that is like an important development. It's just they're so weird. The things they do, the way they rap, the way they talk, the way they look, the fact that they're not from Atlanta is sort of obscures how revolutionary it is to be Lil Uzi Vert. So it starts off with this person attacking homophobic rant against Lil Uzi Vert, and then ARCA saying, thank you, Lil Uzi Vert. ARCA. Okay? First of all, this helps provide us with what I call the Yeezus pedigree. Okay? Yeezus brought us Gesaffelstein. Yeezus brought us the real rise of Mike Dean. Yeezus brought us ARCA. Okay? ARCA existed before Yeezus, but really the album helped to consolidate a whole bunch of different hyper poppy, psychotic, international, techno blending, cyber madness, including artists like ARCA. And I've reviewed a bunch of ARCA. I really enjoy ARCA's work. It's important that ARCA is a well-known visible trans artist as well. helps to put us in this really revolutionary mode of this album, this very 2023 moment of this album. And also it's just great hearing ARCA on a Lil Uzi Vert album. And that's a sort of reminder that that's maybe what people like so much about them, is that not only are they going to work with baby metal, which to me felt kind of gimmicky, but if they're working with ARCA and baby metal, then maybe they're not just trying to be gimmicky. Maybe they really are just as experimental and interesting as they are trying to seem. There's this great dirty synthesizer, which according to ARCA's tweet, she did. Like, she made that dirty synthesizer. I could have swore it would have been this sword sound in the back. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. It sounds like a dude with two scimitars just going swing, swing, swing. Very, very cool. Kind of boring heavy metal guitars, but I chose this as my stamp, my example song. Have you listened to it, by the way? Click above the banana, above George R. Cardi, if you haven't heard it. Because this guitar is pretty emblematic of parts of this album. It's that heavy metal bit, kind of like a boring guitar line, but the way it mixes with all these layered synthesizers, that's really what a lot of great music is doing now. It's how well can you layer synthesizers. And I'm just going to say it just like that. Just from now on, and probably for the last 5 years since I've been doing this channel, one of the primary questions we need to ask ourselves when confronting modern music is how well do they layer synthesizer sounds? And this song does it as well as any song does. The repetitive, hypnotic nature, the thing that I came to love about Playboi Carti, is also here. It's just, I feel like B-word, I'm the crow. I feel like B-word, I'm the crow. The crow is a weird reference. I don't think kids these days know about the crow or care about the crow. Hey, do kids these days care about the crow or know about the crow? You should know about the crow because you had your goth phase. The crow, Brendan Lee, Bruce Lee's son, plays this heavy metal guy who gets killed by the mob and then comes back to life and gets vengeance. It's based on an indie comic. It's a movie. And Brendan Lee, the actor, was actually shot to death while filming the movie. It became like a cult hit. So anyways, kids these days sort of know. But in general, it's a pretty weird reference now. Now, for a kid from the 90s, like me, everyone was dressed up in the crow shirts. Everyone cared about the crow. Brendan Lee was like one of the top sex symbols of the 90s. Anyway, so we had this kind of like reference of that and all this kind of like, yeah, he's doing all these like, yeah sounds. I don't know. Is this, I don't remember this from Eternal A Take. Maybe they are taking on stuff from Playboi Carti or from the Opium sound. I don't know. I had a whole conversation with my son who knows more about this music or listened to more of this music than I have. And he was indicating there's like a real kind of give and take between Lil Uzi Vert and the Opium sound, that they're sort of creating a sort of nice interchange of ideas. So maybe it's not important to focus on who took what, but please, if you are an expert, if you know more than me, my ignorance is profound, please tell me in the comments, does Lil Uzi Vert bite Carti, or did Carti bite Lil Uzi Vert so much that it doesn't matter like what's the biting order between Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi Vert? Tell me in a little comment and I'll pin that up. After you tell me all the times I messed up on the pronouns. And one thing that's very clear is they like the Atlanta style ad lib rapping. You know, you just sort of say something and then just do a bunch of all that kind of stuff. Just sort of saying nothing. And Sean C says that their lyrics are trash, and Fantano says their lyrics are trash. So, are Lil Uzi Vert's lyrics trash? I think the thing that we all, as the whole kind of music sphere has finally woken up to, is that it doesn't matter. It just simply doesn't matter. Bars do not matter. Bars matter in rap where bars matter. Bars do not matter in rap where bars do not matter. Put that on a t-shirt. Quote me if you want, okay? This is what you call a BDM rapper. Bars don't matter, okay? As opposed to a BM rapper. Bars matter rapper. This is not working out. So if we really take the lyrics seriously, you know, right off the start, Wait, did I skip? No. Okay, right. Right off the start, don't know where the F I am, F you and F your B, all that stuff. Talking about I eat Pop-Tarts, but I took that B word to Nobu. Trying to say like how street they are because they eat Pop-Tarts, but also that they go to a fancy restaurant, Nobu. Which, why is it always Nobu? Nobu gets so many shout-outs. I put spikes all on my head like I'm Goku. My kids and I have been laughing all day about that. Just another thing, one of my favorite things about the modern emo rap movement and the underground rap movement is that it is very clear that nerdiness is not gate-kept anymore. It's not, you don't have to be a middle class, upper middle class white kid to be into nerdy stuff. And I think obviously that was never the case, right? But socially it was not seen. And so now we have so many rappers talking about Goku. I bought Dragon Ball Z as a manga or whatever the hell it's called for my son, and he's like, "This is weird. There's a lot of baby penises in this," and we just never read it. I'm sure it's good. Way too many baby penises. I believe that was wasn't that our conclusion? Yeah. It's a lot of baby penises. Anyways, I'm sure it's great, but it's part of the freedom that makes, what I imagine, what makes Lil Uzi Vert so appealing is just that freedom to just say about everything and just sort of talk and not really think. I'm reptilian. They're very insistent on this sort of dehumanizing themselves while also humanizing themselves, and just random misogyny, learning that the word doors rhymes with the word whores. That kind of rhyme that is pretty emblematic of the intentionally lazy vibe BDM rapping. Wait, doesn't BDM mean something else? I don't know. This is why I shouldn't improvise as much as I do. Flooded the Face is the first track. This would be the part where I'll tell you, please like this, smash the like bucket, subscribe. If you don't know the secret hack, you can always get a heart from Professor Skye if you say the letters AVAA. Awesome video as always, or some iteration thereof. I just want to give you, if you want to just say something and you want to get a heart from me, I read all the comments. I don't respond to all of them, but I will always give a heart for an AVAA. If you want to buy a mug with ignorance is profound on there, that's my slogan. Because I don't know that much about a lot of music. I know a lot about some music, but rage rap, emo rap, I have a steep learning curve. So, Flooded the Face. Opens up the album, wake up, Uzi. It starts right off the bat. Opening lyrics. I'll just swear here. But I'll read it like I'm on Masterpiece Theater. First of all, I fuck 8 bitches a day. How could you ever say Lil Uzi gay? Thank you. Very interesting opening. That's the most important thing for them to say right off the bat. It's interesting because this sort of, speaking of Shakespeare, it feels at times like doth protesting too much. If you say you're not something a lot, it makes people think that is something. It's a very sort of strange element to this album. I love the way the voices in the back, and then they make reference to matting the Wraith, which means they took their Rolls Royce and put matte painting on it, which is that's even worse than putting a diamond in your forehead, which apparently they put a diamond in their forehead, which is flooding their face, which is pretty gross, but I guess it doesn't really matter. And this is where I can't tell me. Please tell me in the comments. On Lyric Genius, this is what it says in the description of the song. I'll read this in my Masterpiece Theater accent as well. Meticulously crafted over the years, this mesmerizing song originated in 2017 and underwent enhancements in 2022, showcasing Lil Uzi Vert's unwavering commitment to perfection. Is that what the kids call cap? Is that joking? Or is that serious? Is this a thing where they spend a lot of time making their stuff sound this rough? Or is this goofing around? because what I like is the rawness of it, but maybe this rawness has really worked. Next song, Suicide Doors, already discussed. Then I, featuring Travis Scott, Diamonds in My Teeth. There's these like mournful strings, which don't really go well with the thematics, because they clearly have a lot of pain and they're working through the pain on this album, but they also spend most of the time talking about diamonds on their teeth and diamonds in their face and diamonds in their underpants. Travis Scott is boring. At this point, because Travis Scott has not released an album for the entire time I've done this channel, and I'm waiting for whatever it's called, Funhouse, or I Didn't Do It, or whatever it's going to be called. And I've liked some of his features, but at this point, I've heard enough Travis Scott features that are what the kids call mid, that I'm like, is he really that guy? I don't know. I hope so. I hope so, because I believe that he is, but I don't know he's that guy. I can hear my son getting mad in the other room. Next song is called Crush 'Em, produced by Wonder Girl, which is cool. Strings again in the background. Water Froze Poseidon. Nice little double voice trick, which reminds me a lot of some Kid Cudi work. I really like the chorus, just crush 'em, yeah. This is the kind of thing where I could imagine this album really growing on you, and over the years I could imagine you coming back to it and having this as a little just thing in your head when you're trying to get pumped up. Crush 'em, yeah. Speaking of pumped up, we have Amped. Kind of curling guitar rock. There's like real metal drums that are fortunately replaced by some trap beats. This is some of that gurgling. There's this weird like call and response. Some of the most bizarre. Okay. The way that they manipulate their voice on the line, "Trap life ain't that bad. Got 3 lil, 4 lil phones." It is the most bizarre line, like vocal production I have ever heard. That's including Gex. That's including, I don't know, Mosquito. That's including whatever you want. I can't imitate it. I'm going to try. The way I just did it is actually less weird than the production, but it's in the middle of this whole song, which isn't quite as weird as that. Okay. What's up with it? Bitch, I'm amped. That part's pretty clear. And then the real drums come back. Then we get to X2. And this is that poppy trap. I mean, a poppy rage bit. Happy, upbeat. The keyboards can come straight from a video game select screen, you know? Like selecting your files, you know? And saying, "This is cray." The way he says, "Wah," speaking of video games, made me realize that for this song, you could have someone do Wario for a full impersonation of Lil Uzi Vert. But I really like this pop turn. I would like an entire EP in this realm. Apparently this is produced by Ken Carson, another one of the Opium folks. I mean, all these songs are produced by 8 people. It's another one of those albums where you're like, who's doing what? Who is doing what? What are they doing? Why are 8 people on a song that's one keyboard going wheel 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 and someone being like, bleh, you know, like why? I don't know, but Ken Carson is one of the producers on here, and I really like this mode. I don't know if this is what they're most famous for. Died and Came Back. The first introduction really of death in this album, which becomes more pronounced as it goes on. A really annoying melody. I remember listening to this for the first time. Driving around in the car with my family, and I was just joking, just like, "I'm off the perky. She's in Turkey. Try to give her to a furky. I don't post, I just lurky." I don't know. I had a whole thing going on here, which is fun. Yeah, I do really like the. Even though I'm saying this is annoying, this is again why these albums are so hard to review. Really hard to review. Like, have sympathy for all music critics who choose to review an album like that's this varied and this long. Because the way that they sing the line, "I died and came back, your voice don't sound the same, get your range back." Like, it's a really spooky line. It's a really well-written line. "I died and came back, your voice don't sound the same, get your range back." Like, and it's sung with a certain desperation. It's like maybe this like brilliant, shining moment in the rest of this album, but it's hard to figure out. Because first you just have to go, is this garbage? But check my thumbnail. Spin Again is a song about when Lil Uzi Vert was on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. When they were on, they were way, way, way in the lead, and they were like, "I'm gonna spin again," and they spin, and they went bankrupt. And instead, Nick Lachey ended up winning the Showcase Showdown. That's all improv right there. I would say that's a bad joke, but that's a super solid joke. That was solid. That was solid improv. I once had a student who said I'd be a really good improv teacher, and I now realize they were just making fun of me for being like Michael Scott. So when I hear Spin Again, I hear Whole Lotta Red. When I was listening to it with my son, he said this is very typical Uzi. Again, this is where you can tell me in the comments, what is the biting chain here? Who is the innovator of the sound of Spin Again? But I do love it. I do love it because it's dreamlike. Another weird, like, short song, doesn't quite form. They thought I was gay, but I do not know how Vogue. So this is just another thing where, like, hey, do kids these days know what voguing is?
No.
Okay, so it's the Madonna song, remember?
Nope.
Come on, Vogue. Let your body groove to the music. Ho, ho. No?
No clue.
Anyways, voguing was a very popular dance move in the 80s, particularly in gay clubs, that Madonna took and brought into the mainstream. With a video directed by David Fincher, actually. And it's a very specific gay cultural reference. So in order to say that they are not gay, they make a very specific gay cultural reference to the point where most people who listen to Vogue and know Vogue, and Vogue was a #1 giganto hit, as big as any Michael Jackson song, right? It's just huge. Madonna's biggest song, probably. But no one knew it was a gay thing unless, like, you knew the truth about it. So I don't know. It almost feels like it's clowning, you know, because it's like, anyways, interesting stuff. Next song is called That Fire. Shumani Madumba Dimba Fire. That's the lyrics that I was able to pick up. Shumani Maduba Mima Fire. Shumba Mima Dima Numa Fire. It's basically like the way my 10-month-old baby talks. Great synth layering here. Repeat listens makes me love this a lot more, especially the oddness of the layers. This had one of the only real punchlines in the album. I don't wear Supreme, but if I indulge, you know I only wear Gore-Tex. Get money, drugs, what else? More sex. Whoa, woo. Just kind of a punchline there. Next song's called I Gotta. The first 3 times I listened to this album, I didn't notice this song was there. So that sounds like a diss. It is a little bit. It's just that it ends up, a lot of these albums that are sort of have Migo bloat. Migos were the ones who invented the idea of having albums with way too many songs so you get more streams, so you get more money. Culture too. Thank you, Joe Coscarelli, for telling me that in his book, Rap Capital. So the Migos bloat is heavy on this album, and I Gotta is just one of those songs. It's fine. It's good. Neat. Not terrible. Not great. Speaking of not terrible, speaking of terrible, we have Endless Fashion with Nicki Minaj. And I get it. Drake, huh? Drake. What do you do? Drake is everywhere. Kanye's everywhere. And Drake is everywhere. And Drake came up with the idea of sampling I'm Too Sexy, or Drake's handler, or Drake's ghostwriter, I don't know, or maybe Drake did, of having I'm Too Sexy, and we as a species were cursed with that being the most successful song that Drake has released in the last couple of years. So I guess we're going to get more of this. Some random 90s song, like half-ass sampled. In this case, it's I Am Blue, da-ba-doo, da boo. Shout out to Mike the Snare. If you've never seen Mike the Snare's work on the song I Am Blue. And Crazy Frog, Mike the Snare does a lot of great work on ringtone music of the 2000s. This is just like, just trash. It's just, this is just trash. I mean, Nicki's voice is fine when it's low. I like that she spells out the word competition. But this is also like First Class by Jack Harlow. It's just like, you know what it is? It's Geico rap. It's like, you know how Geico just tries to find like one-hit wonders and be like, look, it's the tag team doing whoop, there it is. Look, it's the Final Countdown band. Look, it's Rat. Like, they just find these groups and dangle 87 cents in front of them, which is, you know, like they're all in financial straits because they're one-hit wonders from 30 years ago. And then everyone laughs and goes, I remember that stupid song. Now, apparently, that's a rap genre. Geico rap. All right? Hey, that's me. I came up with that. I'm proud of that. I'm not so proud of the BDSM rap, whatever it was I said before. But Geico rap, look out for Geico rap, because there's more of it coming. Okay? Nicki Minaj did the Barbie song, right? That's Geico rap. Oh, I remember that song. That's funny. I can listen to this ironically and seriously. Mama, I'm sorry. This reminds me of that Bruno Mars song. What's that one? It's like, da ba da ba da ba da. What's that one? What is it? Grenade? You were able to pick that up just by me singing? Yeah, you did have a Bruno Mars face too. But just in the beginning, again, what I like whenever possible is bring out things that are interesting. Just listen to the snares on this song. I don't know why the snares are interesting on this song. For the most of the album, the snares are just typical, boring, trappy, tick, 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 tick. But the snares on this song are rhythmically interesting. I don't know why. Next song is called All Alone. That weird kind of pop rage stuff. I sort of like it. This is the real mixed messages. You know, I know that you're all alone. That's why you're trying to call my phone. I know that's why your feeling's gone. I'm a dog. You're going to feel this bone. It's like they're being so kind and thoughtful. And then it's like, and then I'm gonna bone. You know, it's I don't know. And there's so much mixed messaging in here. F me, you get a Mercedes. Just that line itself is just like, if you really think about that, just the agrammaticalness of it. Fuck me, you get Mercedes. It's like, is that anger, or is this saying that everybody who has intercourse with them gets a Mercedes? But either way, the anger of it, like, because it's like, fuck me. It's like, is it the angry way or like the intercourse way? I know I'm nothing good. I know I'm misunderstood. Little tiny bits of self-awareness peeking out around the forehead talk, around the icy wraith stuff. Next song is called Nakamura. Which, despite what my son believed, it is not named after the great chess player Hikaru Nakamura. I said, no, it's probably named after the building from Die Hard, the Nakamura building. Go ahead, type it up, finish typing. I know it's the Nakatomi building, but at the moment I got it mixed up. Actually, it's about a wrestler. So going back to that whole nerdy thing, wrestling and anime. And this is, I think, hopefully, the future of rap music. Because if rappers mainly rap about wrestling and anime, and not about generational trauma and consequences of the drug war, then that means that we have made progress as a society. I want all Goku and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, okay? That's what I want. That will know, then we'll know we've made progress. You know, where we can all just be ridiculous nerds in our rooms watching people punch each other for fun. This is cool, though, because it's taking a wrestler's intro song and turning it into a rap track, and it feels like a stadium song. It feels exciting. This feels like, oh, wait, maybe this is our fourth genre. Maybe this is stadium rage. Is stadium rage a thing? Maybe that's what Travis Scott was, right? I don't know what. Then we get to Just Wanna Rock, which apparently was a big hit. I don't know. My kids were like, oh, we know this song. This is the worst part of the album, because it's so much better than the rest of the album. Like, not better, but it's produced with so much more care. Like, the weirdness feels much more worked. Like, the body and these weird synths. It almost sounds like Phantom of the Opera is playing, and I Just Want to Rock, I Just Want to Snap, Snap, Snap. It's just so well produced that it it hurt me because I then had to retroactively look back at the rest of the album and be like, oh, it could have been this. And then we get to Fire Alarm. Fire Alarm, which is a complete sample of the song Stress by Justice. Justice themselves, who did a psychotic remix of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Bum, 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 bum. That's what those strings are that you're hearing. So this is really, if you think about it, Lil Uzi Vert ex Beethoven, okay? And I'm not being facetious. I think Beethoven would very much enjoy this. I mean, he wouldn't be able to hear it, but I think it's a good combination. I think it is true to the chaotic nature of Beethoven's Fifth and the song Stress by Justice. I may actually do a video for Bastille Day this year about the video for the song Stress by Justice. It's very controversial and very interesting. Anyways, wait, have I already done that? Maybe I've already done that. I don't know. But I love the lower voice in the song. It sounds like it's someone different. And like all these growls. And this is like, well, hey, where did this Lil Uzi Vert come from? Like, I like this one a lot too. And Lil Uzi Vert has a lot of different voices. And I really like that. My favorite lyrics of the entire album are the following. All of my money, my pants, my money, my pants. It's my favorite lyric. All of my money, my pants, my money, my pants. I don't know what that means. And what's cool is that it actually sort of makes it a calm song. Even though the song itself, the original, is so stressful, it feels kind of calm in the end. Next song is called CS. And it's a good thing I listened to this with my kids because I had no idea this was a cover of a System of a Down song. I didn't listen to any new music in 2002 and 2018 when I started this channel. All of System of a Down, just whew. Is System of a Down? Were they on Rick Rubin's label? Is that them? Is that who I'm thinking of? I don't know who they are. So this song is like, I guess, a cover. It's like, and then Werewolf, this like new metal emo thing, and then what's Lil Uzi Vert doing? Is Lil Uzi Vert doing nothing, or is just the fact that Lil Uzi Vert is here? Lil Uzi Vert is saying, "Witness me," so then you're thinking about Mad Max, which is a pretty dope reference right there. And I thought the screaming was them. I thought the screaming was Playboy Cardi being like, "Bah!" And I was like, oh, right, they're really going for it. But it's actually I don't know. I was already feeling not capable of reviewing this album just based on my lack of knowledge of Lil Uzi Vert. And now all of a sudden, my lack of knowledge of modern metal. But it had a cool ending. And then you're like, hey, wait, Pluto to Mars. Back to the pop rage stuff. This has one of my favorite lyrics, Yellow Diamond, look like Marge. Yeah, look like a Simpson, woo woo. According to Lyric Genius, on a different song called Prices, they have a lyric, Yellow Diamonds look like Homer. So, I just hope that they stay alive long enough to cover the entire Simpsons family and Springfield, okay? I want the whole thing. Yellow Diamond, look like Bart. Yellow Diamond, look like Mr. Burns. Yellow Diamond, look like the dog from The Simpsons. The dog is brown. Yellow Diamond, look like Grandpa. Anyways. I can clown, can't I? See, it's a long review. You know why it's a long review? Because it's a long album. It's a slog. And one of my favorite comments in Lyric Genius is, quote, Uzi is finally back. That quote was from 3 years ago. Next track is called Patience featuring Don Toliver. I like this dreamy song. It's weird because they keep rapping about Seroquel, which is not a drug that I thought that anybody really abuses. I mean, of course, everyone abuses lots of different drugs. But it is what the NIH refers to as an atypical antipsychotic. Second generation antipsychotic are a group of antipsychotic medications used to treat serious mental illnesses such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorder. So this seems to be connected to the idea that they are actually in detox, they're actually going to rehab, and that Seroquel is being used as prescribed And the effects of any antipsychotic drugs are very, very, very heavy. If you've ever known anyone on antipsychotic drugs, it's a very hard thing to diagnose. It's a very hard thing to medicate. It's a very hard thing to recover from. So it's odd because anytime you hear an incomprehensible word said by a rapper who should be from Atlanta, you just assume it's promethazine or some derivative of opium or whatever. But no, it's a serious second generation antipsychotic. Days come and go, another kind of broken keyboard sound to start. Insecurities make me wish I was taller. I back down on an opportunity. I'm a staller. I like that they are open about their insecurity. And then that leads into Rehab. Beat's fine. Great. But seriously, Lil Uzi Vert? The whole album, I can just say, it fits into this and does that and is like everything else. And there's nothing particularly of note to mention. And I'm ready to hit record. And then the damn song Rehab comes out. And you made like maybe one of the more important rap songs of the last couple years. You made maybe one of the most important rap songs of all time. You made maybe the only effective song about rehab. Like, what the hell, Lil Uzi Vert? What are you trying to do to me? I'm so sick of reviewing this album. I'm so sick of listening to this album. I'm almost out, and then you pull me back in with a song that is transcendently interesting. The beat is not transcendently good. The lyrics are not bars and bars, but I wanted to escape this place deep down. I really hate this place. I came in with $50K. I left out with $50K because you can't spend no money in this place. Lil Uzi Vert just drew the connection between self-medicating and spending money. Understanding that the consuming, be it consuming of vehicles, consuming of women, consuming of drugs, diamonds, whatever, that's all different forms of self-medication, all different ways of trying to deal with trauma or different ways of trying to self-medicate for whatever reason you're self-medicating, and they all come from the same place. That the inability to spend money is just as painful to them as the inability to do drugs, because spending money and buying the wraiths and buying the flood out on the forehead is the same thing as doing the perkies and the Vikies and the cokies and the pokies, you know? And Lil Uzi Vert, I was so close to being done with your album, and now I have to sit here and say thank you. Now, every single time there's anything talking about rehab, I'm going to say, that's pretty good, but it's not as good as Lil Uzi Vert's album when I was almost done listening to it. It felt like a whole week in just one day. They checked on me every 45 minutes. I thought they was just trying to be in my business. Everyone is equal here. They don't care about riches. It's a very real experience that they're talking about. I'm going to die in here. I had that feeling. But Moran made sure I was efficient. Moran is like, I don't know, their sponsor. Should have went on trips when they went fishing. I can't take it this for more, but my best friend's named Jake. He made sure I was straight. Graduation made me feel so great. So, you know, I'm saddened by the death cult of a lot of modern rap music, like many people are. Some people monetize the death cult and are very happy about it. I'm very upset about it. This is one of the most life-affirming songs you can have because it's going to the point of saying, how do you get better and what does getting better look like? And what is the source of the problem and what are the different ways the problem manifests and what is it like to fight it? Lil Uzi Vert made a song where rehab is cool and real. So I'm so happy I listened to this album because it's not garbage. And at times, it's great. But don't get too comfortable. Then the end comes up and it's baby metal and you're back once again going, what the hell is going on, Lil Uzi? Are you trying too hard or are you actually this interesting? I don't know. I'm an old man in his salon. Baby metal just sounds like a baby metal song. I've never reviewed baby metal. I'm fine with baby metal. I don't know what to say about them. I like the screaming. I like how Lil Uzi Vert says, I'm not from this earth. I'm from outer space. I landed here just to drop the pink tape. I like the meta reference. And that's it. And you think I'm going to talk about the bonus tracks? I am not going to talk about the bonus tracks. Even though the very beginning of Zoom had the Louisiana. I'm like, no. I don't care. I don't care who produces it. I don't care if the next 3 songs feature me and my dogs. featuring Bo and Toby. I'm not going to listen to the songs. I'm done. I'm done, Lil Uzi Vert. I did it. I reviewed the Pink Tape. Whew. These are my Patreons. They give me money so I can buy music. I don't think I'm going to buy this, but you know, I might. I ended up buying the Playboi Carti album. You know, maybe Pink Tape is that good. Maybe it's going to be that good. Maybe I just don't know yet. You know? So there you go. So thank you to my Patreons. Yellow in my forehead like Skye's banana. Yellow in my forehead like Franz Kafka. Okay. Who's left over there? Yeah? Did I goof up anymore?
A couple times.
But I caught myself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. There's the camera.